We are live, it says. It says you are live. Hello, we are live. We're live, everybody.
Are we live?
It says we are.
Are we really?
Oh, look, I got a notification. Hollywood Matrimony's live now. You should come watch it. I'm going to. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go share this and tell all my friends because I care. Okay.
We're just going to do our whole show on our phone.
We are. That's what we do. All right. So, welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, hit all the buttons on the screen. That's what you're supposed to do. Thank you so much for watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget you can also find us on the Twitter and the Instagram. I've handed over to my co-host.
For what? I'm not doing nothing.
Well, to tell us what we're doing today. What are we doing today?
We have a variety of things to discuss.
It's going to be interesting.
We don't have as many as we've had in the last few weeks.
But what we have is very eclectic.
Yeah, it's not a normal variety of things. It's a little weird, actually.
It is a little bit weird.
So I guess we can start wherever you want to start.
Man, I don't even know.
We have a documentary. We have a revenge flick. I have a kids film. We have a Christmas film.
I'm telling you, it is a weird
and
mess.
I have what is it? What would it be called? Not a trilogy. Is it a quadrilogy?
A quadrilogy. Is it a quadrilogy?
It's 4 films.
It is 4 films in a series. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think let's start with one together, and then you tell me about some of yours that you saw separately.
Whatever you say, sister.
And we will do it that way. Doing it our way.
There's nothing we won't try except fried green beans.
Never heard. But you've tried them several times.
I have tried them.
I want to do actual like deep fried green beans. You know, with the batter. I wonder if you'd like that.
No, I don't like fried green beans.
Shoot. Green eggs and ham?
The problem with all those recipes is that they have green beans in them. So when you add the green beans, it immediately makes it shit.
Wow. These are some powerful words.
I just demonetized our show.
That brings us to that other show that we watched this week with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, well, that'd be a TV thing, but we can talk about it since we're not doing our TV series right yet.
We haven't, but okay. So let's go over here and see what we can share. What do you want to talk about, man?
I don't know. Pick whichever one you want.
You want to start here?
Yeah, that's fine, because that's probably going to be the shortest discussion.
It's strange. It is so strange. Okay, so let me share a screen and tell y'all what we're talking about. We're talking about this movie. Is it a documentary, technically?
Yeah, so I'm just going to read the back of it, because I think that'll be easiest.
It's called The Other Side of Madness.
It's a documentary thing that was made in it's a documentary / reenactment type thing made in 1971.
Yes.
It just got a release probably back in November. So basically, it's called The Other Side of Madness. It's about Charles Manson and the Tate murders and stuff like that. So I'm just going to read it because it's easier than trying to really explain this. Yeah. So as The Other Side of Madness returns 50 years after its initial release. So it's a movie that obviously came out. It wasn't like a banned movie, I don't think. Let me close this out real quick, sorry. It says it's an avant-garde retelling of the infamous Manson murders. It brings the audience closer to the events than most filmmakers have dared to go, with real-life footage of the Spahn Ranch and music performed by Charles Manson. Directed by Frank Howard and produced by Wade Williams, this hypnotic film served as one of the first helter-skelter recreations. Filmed so close to the time of the events that Manson and his followers had yet to be sentenced for their crimes yet. So they were still on trial.
But these people were on it.
Yeah, they were still on trial, if I'm not mistaken. And this little release, it has the documentary in here, so maybe we need to watch the documentary. We didn't get a chance yet to kind of see what they were doing and what's real and what's not, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, maybe that will help.
But probably the craziest part of this is what it comes with. It comes with this, which you didn't even know until we were just standing in the kitchen. I started messing with it. It's the Charles Manson soundtrack to this movie, basically. But it says, you have received a record that is a limited edition pressing and is not commercially available. It is an unusual and curious item that is one of the very few recordings in existence written and sung by Charles Manson. So it's basically has 2 of the different songs on here. of his original songs. What is it? The Mechanical Man and Garbage Dump.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't think this comes with the normal release because it makes a statement on here that your station has been selected from other stuff to have this. So we may have to listen to it.
Maybe it's a special copy we got.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this came out, but we wanted to dive in here. Like, I've always been intrigued by the whole Manson thing. I know he's nuts. I know.
Did he finally die?
Yes.
Okay.
He died last year or like 19 or maybe a few years ago. I don't remember.
I'll go look.
Thankfully, he never got out, even though every year he got put up for parole.
Well, I think once you put the thing on your forehead.
He had that before he went in.
Oh, did he?
I believe so. Or
well,
that's... there, but he still went in for parole every freaking few years.
Few years. Yeah.
But
he died in 2017. Okay. So not a whole long ago.
So anyway.
He looks crazy. Look at that.
And then, of course, Quentin Tarantino focused on a little bit in those movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with a twist on the same story.
That movie was good.
I like that movie.
I did as well.
This movie is basically the retelling, and it uses like footage, and the whole thing was based on news articles and writings. No.
Stay. See?
There's a cat over here that she's
Lord
trying to get to.
have mercy.
There's,
I'm going to get in the middle of a fight.
That's right. Y'all might see a fight live on pay-per-view. So anyway, what did you think of it? Shush.
Oh my Lord, this is going to be scary. So I wish I had read the back of it first.
I did read it to you.
Did
you?
You
ignore me when I talk.
I missed the part where it said it was avant-garde because it is. This is a very different way to tell a movie. I think the unfortunate thing is that it doesn't really tell us a story. So, like, if I was someone that didn't know anything about this case or the crazy people in it, I would be extremely lost. It doesn't really tell a story. It just starts off where this lady's like, yeah, we were getting it on.
Well,
and then it flashes back to this party scene.
It starts off with the murders, not really showing the murders, but
you don't see the murders.
A lot of like artsy way of cuts and stuff to imply the murders just happened.
And then suddenly we're in trial.
And so every person comes on the stand when they start describing the scenario, then it cuts to the footage.
Yeah, so we're seeing this strange concert in the desert,
all
and
the naked
people
hippies
acting crazy and stuff, but it doesn't really tell us anything.
It's not a film that's really good. But I don't think it was supposed to be like anything other than here's what they were doing and here's some footage of actual stuff and kind of trying to work it together to make it some semblance of a story, but it doesn't have a story because there wasn't an ending to the story yet.
Yeah, so I know. It was bizarre. It's a strange little movie. It doesn't really shed any new light on anything. I think there are some better documentaries now. Well, like you said, they were in the midst of the trial.
I think it was more just trying to be I think there was an element of it was trying to be shocking because they recreate the murders from the testimonies and the notes and the writings that they had. I think they were trying to give a story to try to like just tell people what happened and who these people were. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really do much because they're intertwining it with documentary footage or found footage kind of stuff that's really not overly entertaining. Yes. It was like watching Woodstock.
Yeah, but like weird.
Was Woodstock, did that say that right?
Yes, okay. But like weird black and white, but no narration or anything, just people like dancing and being crazy. And I'm like, well, this isn't really telling me anything. That's the thing. I wish there was more to it. Like you, I am intrigued by him and his followers and the murders and all that because there were so many people that came into contact with him and nobody really picked up on anything. And I think that is so intriguing because even now, as you look back at your mass murderers or serial killers, it's the same thing. They seem somewhat average and nobody picks up on it. And I'm wondering why is that? But it's intriguing to me, the whole thing. So I was excited and then I'm like,
and even the opening was kind of intriguing because it was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, I loved it. It was like very 70s.
She's like, oh. I'm like, oh. She goes, I already like this one.
Because I love those. I love old movies and 70s movies. And I do like some avant-garde things. But the very end of the movie was like, really? Like, that was their message at the very end.
And she liked it because there's an opening crawl that's setting it all up.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn something new. I didn't know.
So it's not. If you already know everything about this movie does nothing for you. No. If you know nothing about it, this movie doesn't really do much for you.
You get to see weird actual footage of some weird naked hippies.
This almost plays out more like an embedded news story. Like they took you into the world on the ranch, and you got to see it. But see, like it's funny because I learned more about the ranch stuff from Gary.
True,
because Gary Kent, who is a stuntman and who the Brad Pitt character is loosely based on, one of many.
Yeah.
And the ranch stuff was a friend of mine who was in a bunch of movies.
And that Once Upon a Time of Hollywood.
He had told me years ago, and it's in his book, about the Spa Ranch and somebody getting stabbed and fights and interacting with Charles Manson before they knew.
That's what I'm saying. So many people knew and then just seemed somewhat normal.
So this felt like it was more like a reporter went on the inside and was just filming their footage, and you got to see them do their hippy dippy stuff.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
So you're not missing anything. It's not. It's the idea is way cooler than the actual movie.
Yeah, the movie's not that great. It's just weird. So, it's weird. Yeah. I mean, I applaud their efforts and their avant-garde filmmaking.
They were trying to.
They're a little too artsy there.
They were trying to get ahead of the curve.
There was no substance to the movie.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Okay, guys, no fighting. Even though people are calling for a fight, they're like, fight.
Are they really?
Yes. No cat fights.
Okay, we don't.
All right, our cat is getting old,
and he's not.
And he seems really frail. I'm gonna have to take him in this week and see.
We think something's wrong with him now, so now we got to deal with that again.
Poor thing. I can't handle that. I might have to come home with a different animal because that's why I got Sabine.
We don't need another animal.
The sadness of my cat BFF passing on to heaven.
But to be clear, so people don't think you just go get animals every time somebody dies.
No, I don't.
We waited a year.
I would think it was a proper amount of more. And you know the crazy thing is I will call her Anya sometimes.
I know.
I can't help it. I loved that cat.
I call her him all the time.
I know. Yeah, we haven't had a girl dog in several years. But
anyway.
She's special, you guys.
All right, well, The Other Side of Madness is available now on Blu-ray, DVD. I don't know where you order it. Just go, if you want it that bad, go find it.
It's different. But okay, why don't you tell me about this?
Okay. So
that'll be fun.
The next film is polar opposite of that movie. It's a movie
Shake
called
that one out of your head.
We Can Be Heroes. It's a movie on Netflix. It's written and directed by Robert Rodriguez, who most of you know him from Desperado, and what was the other ones? Like Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
He recently directed Alita Battle Angel, which is a big one. But in this one,
and from his cooking.
Yeah, he does cooking. But back in the day, after he became famous and became one of the big independent filmmakers. Doing the Mexico trilogy, which is El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah,
he got big from those. Then he launched the Spy Kids franchise, which were really big. And then he did Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which wasn't as big as the Spy Kids franchises.
Correct.
What's crazy about this is you may not, I don't know if you know this or not. Shark Boy and Lava Girl was actually created by his son, who was a little kid at the time. Aww. He just made up these characters, and so he ended up making a movie about these characters. Oh,
that's so sweet.
So his son, I believe it's Racer, he calls himself Racer X. His name was Racer Rodriguez.
Nice.
He gets producing and creative credits on the movies.
That's so sweet.
So this new movie, We Can Be Heroes, is a all-new superhero flick. It's a family film, but it takes place in the same universe as Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Because the original Lava Girl is in this movie. Grown up as an adult now.
I was going to say, she's got to be big now.
She's an adult. Sadly, the original Shark Boy is not in this movie. That was Taylor Lautner.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell he's doing.
But what is Taylor Lautner doing? Come on.
I don't know. They got some other guy to play him, which is fine. But they're not the main stars. Believe it or not, this even though it's a family film, it's a kid movie, it actually has a pretty big cast. It's got Pedro Pascal, Priyanka Chopra with Jonas. It's got Christian Slater. It's got I don't remember the guy's name. The guy that's in Fast and Furious, the Asian one that got killed.
Oh, Han.
It's got him in it. It's got anyway, it doesn't matter. It's got a bunch of kind of named people playing the adult heroes. But the movie's focus is on the kids. The premise of the movie is there's a superhero team called the Heroics, and they're fighting an alien invaders. They're all captured, so the government takes all their kids, puts them in this bunker to save them, to keep them hidden, so they don't try to get them. And most of these kids have powers as well.
Gotcha. Well, you
except for the one main girl.
Han is Sung Khan.
Yeah, and her.
Thank you. Because you're awesome.
Her dad is Pedro Pascal. He's the leader of the Heroics. Pedro Pascal is also the Mandalorian.
Yes, I know that.
But she doesn't have powers. And so now she's in there. So essentially what you have is you have the superhero thing going on with the war. Then you have all these kids that are trying to, it's kind of got the high school vibe, even though they're all different ages. So Shark Boy and Lava Girl's little girl who has both their powers now.
Oh, cool.
She's in there. She's the youngest.
Oh, sweet.
The coolest part, there's a girl named Capella. And yes, her power is singing.
That's awesome.
But she's played by a young lady named Lotus Blossom.
Okay.
Whose dad is Ernie Reyes Jr.
Oh my gosh, he has a kid?
Oh, he's like
I know.
I
still think he's a little kid. I know he's a grown man.
But his daughter is in this, and she gets to do some karate fighting and stuff. But her name is Lotus Blossom.
I want my kid to be Lotus Blossom.
So anyway, I went into this film expecting it. I went into this film expecting it to be cheesy and kind of stupid and
cat named Lotus
be so geared towards kids, and I wasn't really.
That's why I didn't want to watch it. It looks campy.
This movie is a blast.
Is it?
I had so much fun with this movie because it's. I'm trying to keep it from bothering the cat. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's not as dumb as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is, but all the kids' powers are fun. The kids are great. I mean, there's elements that come off a little, like the little girl that plays Shark Boy and Lava Girl's daughter. She's not as convincing sometimes, but she's also really little.
Yeah.
Like, she can't be more than, like, 6 or 7.
Right.
But she's supposed to be the strongest, toughest one of them all. So she's, like, running around going, because she's got shark strength. And
that's awesome.
She can control water using her mom's lava powers. And so it's, like, it's pretty funny. But all the kids get time to shine using their powers. The adults get time to shine using their powers.
That's good.
It's got a fun twist. There's different powers, and also all the kids are very diverse in their not only nationalities, but their physical issues. Like you have a kid in a wheelchair.
Oh, okay.
You have a one girl that doesn't talk; she communicates through her drawings.
Oh, okay.
You have the kids like this one kid. His dad, who played Soon Kang, his dad is the speedster, like a run kid, but the kid is super slow motion. So everything he does is like life. He moves so fast, he's in slow motion.
Oh.
So everybody else sees him, everything he does is slow. And but then like the most powerful hero in the heroics, which is a Superman type character, his son's the one in the wheelchair.
Oh, cool.
And so it's this weird twist. So it's a kind of a thing of letting each kid find their own voice and without being a preachy film, but also having, because there's twins that are rewind and fast forward.
Oh, that's fun.
And so one can speed them up, but they hate each other. So they always argue and they fight, and the parents always fight. You see, it's like dynamic at their house. So it's about learning to work together. It's about learning to be proud of who you are, see your worth. It's got all those little messages in it.
Yeah.
In a fun superhero film.
I like it.
And it's already done so well. They're already developing the second one.
Oh, wow.
I think it did 44 million watches or something on Netflix.
Wow.
During the holidays. So Robert Rodriguez is already developing another one.
That's cool.
And Racer X was executive producer on this one too, and it says Shark Boy and Lava Girl created by Racer X still on it.
Aww.
So it's pretty cool, even though he's an adult now.
That's so cool though.
He's an adult now, and I think he co-wrote this movie too. So
that's so cool.
I was hoping there would be some connection with Spy Kids. There's a little bit of stuff in there, but we'll see what happens. So there's a new one coming out, but if you haven't, it's just a cheesy good time. It's fun. I really had fun. There's some little stuff that'd be like that, but you expected it.
It's fine.
I had a good time with it. I was surprised.
Okay. What do you want to talk about? That one or that one?
Whichever one you want.
Let's go here.
Which one?
This one.
Okay.
All right. Next movie. This movie is called Girl, and it stars Bella Thorne and most notably probably Mickey Rourke and a bunch of other cool people. All right.
The guy that's in the movie...
is it Chad?
Chad Faust.
Yes.
He is the other character in the laundromat.
Yes.
He's also the writer and director of the film.
Oh, that's cool.
So
he does good.
He is good. He kind of chews up the scenery.
Anyway.
Mickey Rourke, not so much. He's not very good in this.
Okay, so.
I felt like he just was walking.
Well, let me tell you first.
Oh, tell us about it. Sorry.
The movie Girl is about a girl who is on a trip to go find her father. When she gets,
with ulterior motives.
Well, when she gets there, she finds out her father has been murdered. Bum, bum, bum. And
that's not really a spoiler. That's the main.
But there begins our story. That's why I had to tell you that. So madness ensues. And yes, so I guess our bad guy, I guess, is kind of Mickey Rourke, but also kind of
there's a lot of elements to there's a lot of weird stuff in the town.
This town is weird. It's
a lot of mysteries.
It's one of those towns where you can tell it's being controlled by a certain group of people, and everybody else just kind of falls in line.
But you really don't know if it's a supernatural thing at first.
Correct. It seems very eerie and like
Texas Chainsaw Massacre-ish.
Kind of. Yeah.
But then it doesn't go any of those directions.
And then there's also a strange thing going on with her mom, that her mom is always sick. So that's happening too. So.
But her mom's not even there. So.
Sabine, stop. You're hitting everything. Oh my gosh. Anyways, go away. Go.
Come here.
Yeah. Sabine, so then, she's trying to figure out what happened with her dad, but then at the same time, she unwittingly kind of stumbles into something she shouldn't have, I guess, is what happens.
That's always what happens.
And then it's just crazy. Anyways, the coolest thing about this was a lot of the good action and fight scenes. There's some really good fight stuff. I like the stuff in the laundromat.
It was okay. They weren't bad.
It's Bella Thorne. I don't think she's.
But see, I actually thought Bella Thorne was really good in this movie.
She was.
The movie itself was average. It was not overly memorable. I think my problem with the movie was it was a good idea. She's really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey Rourke, not so much.
He just looks so weird, man.
Well, he looks weird with his plastic surgery anyway. But I felt like he just kind of
phoned it in.
Yeah. But I felt like, and it could have been a budgetary issue, being a smaller film. I felt like Sabine, stop.
Hey, get over here.
Sorry. That it could have pushed that boundary a little bit more.
Yeah.
And really made it more of an impact. And there was a lot of elements that felt like they were just, felt like they just kind of accepted it the way it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They didn't take, and again, I don't know if it was a budget thing or if that's just what they wanted to do. It just didn't all work for me that way.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it okay. I wouldn't watch it again. I think she did a good job in it. The weird thing to me was like the whole mother thing. Just kind of like it was a constant ongoing thing. And then she finally gets there, and that just is not at all what I was picturing. And
a picturing of what?
The mother.
Like what she looked like?
Yes, that, but also.
They showed her the whole movie.
I know, but we only saw this much of her.
You could tell that woman's face what she was going to look like.
I don't know. I didn't get it, and I didn't understand. Oh my gosh, now I'm all covered in fur because of this dog. It was odd. The whole part with the dad and the mystery and trying to figure out, I liked. The
I didn't like
aspect was weird.
I think that was the other problem is I didn't like what the mystery was.
Yeah,
it was kind of like,
oh, okay.
Like they didn't put a lot of thought into that. It was like, hey, let's do this. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's set up for something way cooler.
Yeah. It could have been way more intriguing. There could have been some more twists and turns.
Yeah, the way the townspeople.
It was very Scooby-Doo.
It was, and they actually kind of had the face pulling.
Yeah. Yeah, and would have gotten away with it too.
But it's okay.
It's okay.
It's worth watching to watch her performance in it, and I'm not being like creepy. She's not naked in there and everything else. It's her performance is really good in it. But beyond that, it was kind of
Yeah. It was all right. Check it. If you see it, if you come across it, check it out.
If you like her, give it a shot. If you like thriller kind of things, we thought it was going to either be a horror film.
I thought it was going to be like a horror
revenge
because it's her with a hatchet. So I was thinking, girl revenge killing.
And
people.
It is kind of a vengeance thing, but not. It doesn't have the impact of something like I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's not Spit on Your Grave. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be more women empowerment revenge, and it was just normal mystery solving.
More family drama.
Yeah, it was all right.
Anyway,
she tried. It wasn't her fault. Okay, now you have to tell us about this.
This not going to take that long to do this one.
No, but this seemed
interesting.
Right.
So this next one is the quadrilogy or whatever you
quadrilogy.
So here's what's interesting. It's this thing called The Trip. Now there's 4 entries.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was a TV series on the BBC.
Okay.
And it's kind of a. It's Steve Coogan and Ryan. What's his? I always forget.
Hold on. Hold
Scroll
on.
up on my review. It's right there.
I'm not there. I'm not on that page.
Sorry. Oh, it's right here. Rob Brydon. Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. And they play kind of fictionalized versions of themselves. And like the first film, Steve Coogan has to go on this trip through the UK. And so he asks Rob to go with him. And Rob's a family man. He has his baby and his wife. And Steve Coogan's divorced, but he has a son. But he's also a ladies' man, whatever kind of thing. So, but it's interesting is it serves. Not only are they on this trip, the whole movie and basically all form of the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I believe 90%, if not all of it, is unscripted.
Oh wow!
They just go off the cuff, off the top of their head. But it almost feels like a Food Network type show because they spend a lot of time in various restaurants eating, and it cuts to the kitchens and shows people cooking. It's not like Chef or anything like that where it's teaching you or anything like that. It's just you're seeing the kitchens run, and I'm pretty sure that most of that is not actors. I think they shoot the actual kitchen, and then they have meals. They make quick comments about the meals, but what they end up doing is they do impressions, and it's just banter. It's two friends having random banter, and then it interacts their various situations and dramas and life. And then the end of the movie is them going home after the trip. So each one was a different series, and then they edited each one of those series down into a film. So it's kind of got a dual release. So there's I don't know what's cut out or whatever. They're both all of them are 2-hour films. I'm assuming they're probably 30-minute shows or something. So you have The Trip, which is the initial one. It was back in 2010. Do you have the review up? I have it on the top of the review.
Please hold. I do now. 2010.
2010 is when it started. Then they did The Trip to Italy. Then they did The Trip to Spain. And then here in 2020, they did The Trip to Greece, which was funny because they sent me a copy of The Trip to Greece, but I'd never seen the other movies.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find them, and I couldn't find them, so I never reviewed it. And then...
Now you can find them all.
Yeah, a month ago, I got the email that's one DVD that has all 4 movies and one nice thing. And these are a blast. They're really funny. What I like about it, too, is you have to know that you're going into just real life. Mm-hmm. Even though it's unscripted and it's not all factual stuff, it's just 2 guys shooting the crap 90% of the time. But they're doing James Bond impersonations, and they're doing they're having conversations and arguing, but they bash each other about their movies. And one guy's wanting to do this movie, and this other guy gets a part through a Michael Mann movie, and he's mad about it. Yeah. But it also deals with some of their relationships and how.
There was one, I don't know who it is. I don't think it's a spoiler.
You were watching, we were
I was walking through, I was sitting around, I was taking a nap behind you. And you're like, well, that's not his girlfriend. And I'm like, uh-oh.
His wife.
So whoever.
Yeah, so one of them ended up having an extramarital affair, which is interesting because it played it like real life. His wife never found out about it. It never played up.
It never came back around.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was one of those things that he felt horrible that it happened. He was also dealing with, he had a happy home, but he was surrounded by the new baby and the other kid, and was screaming. He was excited to get away from the house.
Yeah, that happens.
The other guy, on the other hand, this guy has it all, and has the family. The other guy is now becoming kind of depressed because he's alone all the time.
Yeah,
and he's building his relationship, Steve Coogan's character, with his son, and then each one of the series ends with some kind of a big moment. The first season, I don't think did, because I'm sure they probably weren't sure if they're getting next season. Yeah. They have one where they find out somebody's pregnant in one of them. Somebody's father dies at the end of one.
So it is real life.
It is. And I don't know if they really died or really
just pregnant. With fun. No, I'm just saying it's real life.
But it's all the same people play the kids and the wives, and so there's multiple years. What were the years that I told you?
It starts in 2010,
14, 17, 20. So all those people aged.
Yeah, you can tell they've aged.
So in 2020, when Steve Coogan's talking to his son from 2010, he's an adult.
Yeah.
And so
That's cool.
It's interesting, but it's also funny that the way it ends, there's one where Steve Coogan's character continues on some trip, and his car breaks down in this desert, and he's by himself. Yeah. And then it ends, so when it comes back, they don't even, it's like it never happened. And then there's one throwaway discussion of well, you remember when he disappeared, we couldn't find him for 3 weeks or whatever. And so make sure he takes his phone, that kind of thing. So I really, really enjoyed him. I don't know if it's one of those revisiting a lot kind of things, but just their banter. And even by the end of the trip, you can see they get on each other's nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
But they always work. There's these 2 ladies that they always visit, or they always fly in. So they always have one dinner with those same 2 ladies. And they're not dates; they're just friends of theirs.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of talking to their agents and auditioning, and
it's funny.
So I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the Trip series, we'll call it, then check it out. It's on the Blu-ray or the DVD now with all 4 of them together. It's now called the Trip 4-Course Meal.
There you go.
So,
nice.
Yeah, that's that.
Okay, next.
The last one was
we got one more to talk about.
This one is the one I've been wanting to
highly anticipated in the Blakey household.
Yes. Would you like to tell about it?
I would. This movie is called Fatman, and it stars Mel Gibson. Don't get all your panties in a wad. It's okay. And then it also has Dane Walton Goggins. He is in everything. I want to interview him and just be like, dude, you have been in everything since like your 20s.
Do you have a house?
How do you do this? Like,
because he's got his own TV series, The Unicorn.
Yes,
and then he shows up in every movie.
I mean, he was in that Vice Principals thing.
We just realized he was in the next Karate Kid. We didn't even know he was.
I mean, so since his 20s, he has been consistently working. Working hard, because he shows up in every movie, every TV series.
He was on Sons of Anarchy playing
everywhere.
transvestite.
I'm like, this guy again.
Or transsexual.
There's so many things he's in. I didn't know his name for so long. I'm like, this guy again?
She says it every time we see something with him.
Oh my gosh.
So for the longest time, I thought she hated him.
No, I don't know why he shows up in everything.
Because he's a good actor.
Man, he is. He can do a lot of it. So
Fatman, I've been really, really wanting to see this movie
excited
for a long time. Ever since I first heard about it, I am an unabashed Mel Gibson fan. I know that
we know he's a little cray.
May not be a great person.
That's okay.
But I watched his work. I'm not talking about the man.
Yeah.
I don't know the man. I know what I've heard the tapes. I've seen the behaviors. I don't care about that. I really wanted to see this movie. Why don't you tell them what it's about?
Okay, basically.
Or do you think you can?
Basically, Mel Gibson is Kris Kringle, a.k.a. Santa Claus, a.k.a. the Fat Man. But I loved this movie.
Did you really?
Yes.
Okay, so before we go further, that surprises me. Because while we're watching this movie, she didn't even look. I was getting irritated because you didn't even look like you were paying attention.
I was paying attention.
She was on her phone or she was on her computer. She wasn't really reacting to much. So when you did laugh or say something, I was like,
I was paying attention.
Because I was working on my art deadline and I was having trouble focusing on the art because I was all enthralled in it. And I look over at you like,
no, I really liked it. You know why? Because this is such a creative way to tell a Santa movie.
To me, it
felt like not a traditional Santa Claus movie. It felt like, at all.
What if Santa Claus was in the real world?
And it is.
Not the magical fantasy.
Yes.
Those elements are there, but they're spoken about, not seen.
Correct.
And they're not important to see them. That's not what the movie's about.
Yeah, no, he is like a normal guy, and he's running his workshop or his factory or whatever. But he's like, man,
they're on hard times.
They were hitting hard times because people don't believe in Santa anymore.
Yeah, the implication is there's so much bad in the world and so many people don't believe anymore that they're struggling to even make the next year to have stuff for supplies to make the toys or whatever.
Correct.
And it's funny, they don't really ever talk about making toys.
Correct.
It's just we're not going to have enough supplies to get through next year.
Correct, because there's nobody cares enough about Santa or Christmas spirit and all those things. So it's interesting. It's bringing elements of some other movie, like Elf is like Christmas spirits now.
Well,
or the other one with the cool guy that Santa, the cool version of Santa.
Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, like the Christmas spirit's going down. So I mean, all of it's talking about it, and I like that because it's true.
Well, in this one, I like the real world element. That it also, you would think that if somebody's doing that kind of thing, flying around the houses and going into people's houses and stuff, the government has to be involved. And in this case, the government is kind of sanctioned. They pay him to do whatever stuff,
Yeah.
So it's almost like, has he always been Santa Claus? Had they hired different people over the years?
So it makes it seem that all the different countries contribute
it made me wonder
to him to help manufacture the toys. That's how they're making money.
It made me wonder, at one point I was wondering if they were going to kind of spin it to where there's like more than one Santa Claus. Like maybe, they never said this, but it was like maybe he's just that direct area, and each area.
No. See, it might have felt like everybody was paying their portion.
Yeah.
Because that's a valid thing. Who pays for all the supplies?
And I think one of my favorite parts of this movie, which is a very teeny non-spoiler throwaway sequence, is there's only a quick moment of Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. And you don't see him in a red suit flying around or any of that crap.
It's implied that he
implied that he leaves, and then he comes back. When he comes back, he's like bleeding, and it's like, they make a reference as like some kid with a 22 was shooting at the sleigh, or just shooting in the air and it hit him.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes you think like, those people that are celebrating and doing stuff. Because did they really specify they were shooting at him or just shooting it in the air and it hit him?
He said they were trying to shoot at the deer.
Okay.
It was like hunting.
Yeah.
so hunting accident.
So he got shot. So when you see him at other points, he has like scars all over him.
But you see that like the Santa magic is still there because he heals.
Yeah, but he's all scarred up.
He's all jacked up. And I like the gruff Mel Gibson, like, well, if we don't get enough money, we're not going to be able to do next year. And
he has no Christmas spirit. He's a guy who's like, oh, this is my job, and I'm tired of this job.
But it all comes to play.
They all know him as the
He's
kind
just
of grumpy
Chris.
guy.
He's just Chris. He lives out on the ranch.
There's a moment when he comes in, he's in a little better mood, and you can tell everybody in the town is surprised about that. Mm-hmm. Like he walks, he's like, "Hello, so and so." They're like,
but they still pull the traditional Santa jokes where he knows everyone and what you've done.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, hey, so and so," and they're like, "How do you know?"
So the actual film, that would be enough storyline.
It is so good.
There's 3 stories kind of running simultaneously that all clash. You have a snobby rich kid who's a total douchebag.
He's stealing, he's bribing, he's just trying to get everything he wants because he's a rich kid and he's entitled.
So you get to see a lot of the crap he does and craziness. And of course, you see in the trailer, if you watch it, he gets a lump of coal.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody does him wrong. Because if they do, even another kid, he calls Walton Goggins, who is a hitman. And so he hires him to kill Santa Claus.
He's like, I need you to kill.
But Walton Goggins has his own ulterior thing and happiness about taking this thing in relation to Santa Claus. So you have Walton Goggins going through his routine. You get to see him do a few of his jobs. You have this kid's story and bullcrap stuff he's dealing with. And then you have the Fatman. Santa's dealing with their struggles in their land and this new government deal that they may get. They might save everything. And how it's going to all work out, and then how it all interclicks together.
Yes, so it's
in
all
a
coming
violent,
together.
bloody mess. The
other thing I like about this are the elves and the workshop or whatever, and we do get a look at them, and it is more realistic, more real world. It's not little magical.
They're just shorter people with pointy ears, and they survive on. Was it sugar and dairy?
Sugar and sweets or something like carbs or something.
Because they said it was more efficient to keep their energy levels higher.
So it's interesting because we got a little look at how they work. They work in 24-hour shifts. They all do, so they're all doing their part. But it's not like they're all like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're in a place called North Peak, not the North Pole.
Correct.
And it's like this weird ranch.
Yeah, he's just out on a ranch.
Their whole thing is underneath this barn, secret hidden.
Yeah, I mean, so that whole thing is awesome. And then I do have to bring up Marianne Jean-Baptiste.
Oh yeah,
who I love. I like that we got her because she is not what you would consider your traditional Mrs. Claus, except that she's always making cookies.
Yeah,
which I did appreciate.
And she gets to get in on the violent fun.
What will everyone know her from?
She's been in everything.
She is. Oh, she's so cool. She's so pretty, and I love that she always has like her hair shaved. And it's just like her thing.
I know she's in on How to Get Away with Murder, but she's not the star. That's
I don't know. Anyway, you'll know her when you see her. She's just so cool, and I like that they went with maybe a not traditional blonde hair, blue eye Mrs. Claus. I like that they went to a black woman who's British with gruff Santa American
and they had great chemistry. It was surprisingly, like you really believe that they're.
She really loved him. She was taking care of him. She was trying to like stop eating all these cookies.
And you could tell he really loves her, even though he's just kind of done with everything. Not with their relationship, but he's just
gruff.
She's the only thing he has that he cares about. Clearly, and then you got Walter Goggins' character, he's the exact opposite of Santa.
Correct.
Because he's very like germophobic type. not really germophobic, but very clean and neat and perfect and organized and meticulous. But his stuff, he's very flat leveled with his. He has no emotions really. It's very soft spoken, and he's just roaming around and he's collecting things because deal with his own issues that turns into this whole big. I thought there was going to be more action in this movie than there was.
Well, there was.
Well, but it's all really at the end.
Yeah, there's some good action. If you don't expect Santa to bust it out, Santa's going to come out fighting. Just FYI.
Well, there's a scene in the trailer that I love that's in the movie that where they finally kind of confront each other, and he's like, "You think someone hasn't tried to do this before? Why do you think I got this job?" I thought we were going to really get some backstory that he was like a special forces guy, but it's just implied as like, no, he's just badass.
Yeah, he's badass Santa.
But he's not a badass in a way that he can like just beat everybody.
No.
Like, it was totally unexpected the direction that went.
Yeah, and he because he's obviously just a dude. He's not invincible, but he's like, yeah, this doesn't scare me. I've dealt with this before.
Yeah, and then the way there was a awesome, I thought, twist in the end.
Yes, I like that ending.
That made it even better. That you could still do more stories and do different things, but it was the perfect cap to it. Like, I really, really dug this movie. This would have been on my top list.
Yeah. I
think this is probably one of Mel Gibson's best performances in a while because he looked like he was into it.
He was into it, and I liked it.
It didn't feel like the phoned-in type.
No, he was all in on this one, and I just like that it's such a realistic take on Santa meeting his quota. You better pay me. If you don't give me my money, you're not getting your stuff.
Exactly.
And yeah, it was so good. And he was kind of badass.
He was.
I like badass Santa.
He had an epic beard.
Yeah, total epic. We've been talking about epic beards.
So, but Fatman, ironically enough, if you haven't seen it, we actually paid for it on Amazon. They marked it down to $2.99.
Go watch it right now.
But if you don't want to do that, it is coming to Blu-ray and DVD at the end of this month because it came out obviously before Christmas, so that's how long I've been sad waiting.
Yeah,
telling her let's watch it.
Just pay $2.99. It'll be okay. No, it's good.
But they had it on Amazon for $6.99. I just happened to look at it because every time it pops up, I'm like, because she didn't really seem to want to watch it.
No, I'm glad I did.
I kind of made her watch it because we didn't have anything else
to watch. I was excited, and then freaking Walter. I'm like, this guy again, Walter Goggins. Come on.
Anyway, but it comes out, I think, January 26th, and I might have something to give away. I'm just saying.
Ooh, that's so cool. It's a really good movie. You should watch it. It's fun.
Awesome.
A lot of fun. There you go.
All right.
That's all of that.
Was that everything today?
That's everything today.
Right, well, I guess we'll jump into the giveaway stuff. That was a quick one today, it feels like. Well, then I have time to throw this out there. Boogers of the Antichrist.
Oh, Lord. We're so sorry.
No, you're not. Yeah. Okay, so we still have pretty much mostly the same stuff on the giveaway side. But I do have a new one that's going to be added to this week. It is not up yet, but I will show you what it is. But we do still have copies of Synchronic.
It's a good movie.
On that we enjoyed. Excuse me. I got a couple extra copies of Tenet still on 4K.
That one was confusing, but good.
Got Max Cloud, the new Scott Adkins video game comedy action flick. We got the opening act, which was actually really good. Stand-up comedy.
Max Cloud was.
Got an extra copy of The Wolf of Sleepy Hollow, which you haven't seen yet, which is another one that's man in suit, wolf, werewolf kind of thing with a fun twist on it. It's also Robert Forster's final film, which is that old guy. And this next week, we'll be adding another giveaway for the movie Jungle Land, which is Charlie Hunnam and Jack O'Connell. We talked about on the show.
Yeah.
We both enjoyed this movie.
It's good.
But we'll have copies of this giveaway as well. But it's not up there yet, so it'll be up there probably tonight or the next day or so.
There you go. Next.
Oh, I got to tell. We're back still heading into the new year. There's still not a lot of brand new stuff quite yet. The Ultraman Taro, the complete series, which is obviously part of the Ultraman series. I think it's volume 6 of the stuff is coming out.
Wow.
The Raid collection, which they're bringing the Raid 1 and 2 together in a Blu-ray collection. Skylines, which was the 3rd chapter in the Skylines franchise, is coming out. And that's pretty much it as far as the bigger things. Blind Fury is getting the retro VHS release. It's not VHS, it's a Blu-ray, but retro VHS line. If you've never seen Blind Fury, movie's awesome. It's got Rutger Hauer playing a blind samurai of sorts in the present day, and then he has a fight Shokusuke at one point. So anyway, that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's see. We already saw that.
Come on, Spencer.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Okay, this week. Hold on. Let me get to this week.
Well, you passed one of them that's next week. I mean, that's coming up this week.
It doesn't say that. This was last week. Okay, which one?
Let's go over the top. That one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, coming out. It said it already came out in some places, so maybe
it did a small theatrical run, but it's getting
wider release.
It's hitting Amazon on Friday.
Oh, One Night in Miami.
That was the one we were supposed to be able to talk about. And then we had a screening for it, and the screening didn't work.
It didn't work. It's Leslie Odom Jr. and a bunch of other cool people. Regina King. Yeah.
It's based on a true story of Muhammad Ali and Malcolm, I think it's Martin Luther King, and a couple other people in One Night in Miami situation.
Okay. Then let me get to this week's movies. Okay. Why this came out, didn't it?
I don't know.
Oh well, coming to Prime Video. We'll just say that. Redemption Day. If you have not seen it, it's some Marine trying to save his wife. Yeah. His wife gets kidnapped. Coming out on HBO Max, the movie Lockdown. It has Chiwetel Ejiofor.
What I just told you about.
Okay.
It is a romantic.
Anne Hathaway.
Get this. It's a romantic comedy heist thriller.
Yes, I'm all about it. I love both of them.
On HBO Max.
So we'll check that out. Okay, it says coming out nationwide. Don't know where you'll find it, but I don't even care because it's Liam Neeson. It's called. We'll find it in our movie room.
In our living room.
The Marksman. So you've got to see it. It's Liam Neeson doing some shooting. Man, Liam Neeson has just become the action.
Taken made him an action star.
Yeah, and I he's so good. Anyways, nationwide, something called Wrath of Man. Jason Statham's in it. Scott Eastwood. It's an armored truck heist movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have anything except it says releasing nationwide. Coming to Prime Video was the One Night in Miami that you were telling me about. Video Demand and Digital. Promising Young Woman. It's Carey Mulligan. I don't know. Something happens. Changes alive. Okay. Limited release. I'm excited about that, but it's limited release. Coming to Netflix, something called Outside the Wire with Anthony Mackie.
That movie looks badass.
It's a militarized zone and some drones and some stuff. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
He's like an android looking thing in the movie, so it's essentially like almost like a RoboCop-ish type. It looks badass.
Video Demand, The Wake of Light. Don't know what that's about, but it's coming out. And then Video Demand and Digital, Love, Sarah. I don't know who's in that either, but it's some cute little thing about Notting Hill. So, there you go. So there's a bunch of interesting things. I'm ready for that next week. So.
Oh, it's got a Richie movie.
Okay, well there you go. We'll be watching it. We got a lot of stuff to watch, is what I'm feeling. All right, what do you have?
Is that it? Much it? Yeah.
All right. Well,
so I guess we haven't. I know I keep saying we're gonna start these new shows, but things have just been in our way between our deadlines and job stuff and life. So we'll announce our new show when we get around to it. We'll bring back the other shows when they come back. But we will be here back for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live on Sunday, no matter what, unless we don't.
There you go.
So make sure you go like our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button as the pillow tells you, and like all the other stuff, share it, enter transfer prizes, do all the other lovely things. Please, nobody likes us. We're sad.
Aw. Make sure you visit our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Click the contest button to find all the good free stuff. And thank you so much for watching us live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to also find us at Hollywood Matrimony on Instagram and the Twitter. That's all I'm supposed to say. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week.
Peace, love, and good grief.
Bye.